Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So before we begin the video today, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that you can get notified of any new videos. Go check out my short videos. There are microbytes in there about different topics, and so don't go check them out. That's another thing that I was gonna tell you and I was gonna recommend. Hit the like button if you like this video. This video is kind of like it's my opinion that just because you're doing something or just because you did something, don't make that your self perception, or don't make that the main theme that defines you, because it doesn't. Yeah, I mean sometimes it does, because there's some people that like sports figures, like YouTubers, famous YouTubers, uh, and don't think that just because in this point in time or in that point in time, just because that's the main thing that you're doing, right? And that's the thing that's gaining you accolades, income, like for example, likes or subscribers. Don't make that the thing that defines you. And so give it a thumbs up if you like it. I hope you do. This is one of those not so long, not so short videos right in the middle. If you have a topic that you want me to go over, put it in the comment section. Connect with me at Back on Basics on Instagram or Carlos Flores Jr. on Facebook. So let's get to the video. So what defines who you are? What defines who you are is you. You define who you are. Nobody else defines who you are. They have an opinion. They have a perception of who you are, and it depends on what and who and what you do and when you do that. It all depends. You as a person, you are multifaceted. That means that you have a lot of things going on. Believe me, right? There's a lot of things going on, and I'll start by telling you my story. During COVID, right around COVID, I was actually a director for a local university, and at that time, the actual local campuses were being closed, and so all of my partners, all of my job titles, I mean, everybody else with the same job title, actually, we were all laid off. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. We were getting a lot of things. We got a lot of different support and everything. But what I wanted to tell you was that for the longest time, that was the job, anything out of me being me that defined me, and I did that. And so once I was laid off, then I went into a funk, because I again, it was around COVID. We were still sheltered in place. There was a lot of different things going on. I literally applied to about 230 jobs with big salaries, little salaries, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because, one, I wasn't being a provider. I felt like I wasn't being a provider to my family. Two, because I wasn't getting any traction getting hired, because maybe because I didn't interview that well, or maybe because there were a lot of the times they were saying that at that time during COVID, they actually had a lot of applicants. I mean, one hiring manager actually spoke to me and said, look, we got over 100 applicants. And out of those 100 applicants, we only selected 10 to go to the second round. And unfortunately, you didn't meet the cut. But there were 80 other people or 79 other people and I was number 80 that did not get an interview. And so, I mean, that just shattered me. I mean, I was down. I was more introvert than all of my life. And believe me, and I've told you this story about me being part in the war, right? Being in the war made me more introvert. I was an introvert extreme. That means I just kept to myself, and I said I'm not dealing with anything. And so when I went through application after application after application after application, and I did some interviews, but not a lot of them because there were so many people looking for jobs at that time that I was not. I was not being hired. And all I could go back on was me being angry and saying, I just spent over 6 years as a director of this university at a specific location, and I don't know why I'm not being hired. So I define myself because of what I was doing. And because I stopped doing it, or, because I was released from what I was doing, my definition changed. And it wasn't because I wanted to. It's because I had to. And that's hard. And I didn't even learn the lesson even after COVID, because even after that, and once I started doing, special education teacher, even then sometimes I got introverted again, and I felt bad because I went from making 3 times as much as I'm making, and I used to make 3 times as much, and I used to be an influencer, not in the social media kind of way, but more of an influencer in a face-to-face. I was part of chambers. I was Metro Chambers and other Hispanic chambers, and I was somebody that people would go to for resources, for questions on education. And so once I was done with that, it felt awful because I could not define myself by my title anymore. So a couple of years passed, and I mean, I was in a slump, and I'm still just getting used to. I'm going up. And this is the reason why I started this YouTube channel, because I was going up, but I was not going up fast enough because I wasn't processing what I was going through. I wasn't. I was not processing what I was going through. And so it let my former job, I was still trying to define myself as that. I was still reaching out to people that I met, that I made connections with, during that position. But guess what? Because I wasn't in that position, there were a lot of people that were they were just using me for my title. Let's be honest. There's a lot of people that didn't. And that's one thing that actually helped me as well. But there were a lot more people that were just using me as a bridge so that way they can get to where they wanted to get to. And you know what? More power to them, because I was defining myself not as a father. I wasn't defining myself as a husband. I wasn't defining myself as a provider. I wasn't defining myself as a person that contributed to society. And that's the thing that today, because another NFL player actually passed away today. It was either yesterday or today. and I apologize that I don't remember his name. I saw it and I don't remember his name. He used to play for the Jets, but a lot of the comments that came out of there is that, which is true. We define, and I'm talking about people. I'm not just talking about certain people, but we define ourselves by the way that we are most successful. But we take for granted the fact that being a father, being a brother, being a son, uh, being a mentor, being somebody that can help people outside of work, we don't define ourselves for that. We just define ourselves most of the time, again, with the biggest success and the biggest connections that we have. You know, I think that social media has so much traction now because people want to belong. Like you all, 89 of you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, by the way. Uh, and just remember, these videos are going to be free. These videos, I'm telling you right now that I'm not going to think about doing subscription based stuff. I want you to get the videos that you need free. So that way you can balance yourself. So that way you can find a support system. So that way you can build your village, right? I'm not gonna get to the point where, oh, I'm gonna start charging you for like the good stuff. Everything's the good stuff. Every single video that I've done builds on each other. Remember, 2 days ago I did a video, or 3 days ago I did a video on skill streaming. So it's one after another skill learning, right? So you learn all of them and you become excellent at what you do, right? Because each skill builds on one another. So you create a roadmap. It's like the K through 12 schools, right? The California schools have a common core standard for each grade, multiple for each grade. They have English language arts, math, and between those two, there's sub standards that will give you different aspects. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. I was just reading the Common Core standards for a kindergartner yesterday because I was going to do a video on it, but I said, no, let's not do that yet. Let's create this video on identity first, and then we will go later on in a Common Core. So one of the examples, one of the Common Core standards for a kindergarten is with prompting, a student will be able to retell a familiar story. Again, read it. Let's hear it, right? With prompting, a student will be able to retell a familiar story. And so, again, that's one of many Common Core standards in California that the students are gonna learn at some point during kindergarten as they prepare for first grade. And so because of that, there's a roadmap from an education.com has a nice summary of all the Common Core standards from kindergarten through 8th grade. So education.com. And it's great because it's my resource. When I go there, it's easy to read, it's easy to do, it's easy to follow. It's either math or English language arts, and then you look at the Common Core standards. And so because of that, I'm able to do a lot of different things. I'm able to help my students when I'm running groups, when I'm preparing them for their IEPs, when I do goals based on Common Core standards. So those are the things that I do. And so again, right? It's a roadmap. Skill streaming. It's skill after skill after skill after skill. So going back to the topic, right? Things, just don't let one thing define you. Don't let something that has passed continue to define you. You have to define yourself as a whole person. right? You have to define yourself as a whole person. Listen to that, because you're not just a director of a university, or you're not just a special education teacher, or you're not just a psychology instructor, or you're not just a father or a provider or a husband or a family member or a son. It's everything defines you. And the thing is, if you keep an eye on all of those, then the way that you define yourself as a person will help you get to your goals, because that's how you're going to choose your support system. That's how you're going to able to choose what career best suits you. And that's how you're going to be able to say, I'm not one track. I am a whole person. I'm not part of just that. And so you need to define yourself as a whole person. Believe me, it's going to balance your mind and your body, mind body balance, right? I've always said that, mind body balance. It's going to make you feel more reassuring, a lot less anxious. You're not going to be thinking too much about the negative aspect of it. And I'm not saying that it's going to go away. All I'm saying is that you'll be able to say, well, I'm not doing well in this component of my life, but in this part of my life, I'm doing great. So I'm going to use the successes as a father or as a family member to kind of balance the successes at work, or the successes as a provider, or the successes as a person that takes care of people around you. So again, don't define yourself as one single thing. You're a person. You don't define yourself as one thing, because if you lose that definition, if you lose that thing that you're defining yourself, you will hit a slump. You will be you'll go down. You'll question yourself. You don't want to do that. You don't want to question yourself. You don't want to feel like you don't want to feel worthless. I went through that. I'm telling you, I'm being honest with you, that I went through that. And I'm still going up now. I'm still doing 3 steps at a time. So that way I can see all 3 and I can focus in the front. I'm not being pulled in the past as much anymore. And I'm not trying to build a future that doesn't exist. Right? So I'm being realistic. I'm being in the here and now. I'm being in the neutral zone, so that way I can make the best decisions. And so again, if you're a sports athlete, if you are a singer, if you play in a band, if you are an actor or an actress, again, right? You are more than just that. Make sure that you understand that. You are more than just that. If you're a seamstress, if you work in a laundry room, if you're a teacher, if you're a principal, if you are, and I'm just saying, coach, Tebow coach, or any other way of defining. Remember, do not define yourself by one thing, because you're not. You have multiple things in your life that define who you are and make who you are. And so by only defining yourself by one, then you're limiting your success potential, and you're limiting the ability to connect with people that will move you forward towards your success, towards your goals and dreams. So again, right? Don't define yourself by just one thing. You're a person. You're a whole person. You do a lot of different things. You tend. It's like, okay. When I did a father support group with 2 other, which are good friends with me, facilitators, I used to say, it's kind of like being in front of a dam that's leaking, slowly leaking. So you plug one hole with your finger, and then another one opens, and you do that, and you do that, and you keep on plugging and plugging and plugging, and eventually it'll stop, right? So you're helping plug those holes, but now you got to think about, okay, what am I going to do next in order for me to start taking one finger out at a time and plugging that permanently? And so if you're only thinking about just plugging the holes, you're not going to be able to think about how are you going to take those fingers out of the dam and make sure that they're covered so that they don't continue leaking. Don't continue leaking. I mean, when an athlete retires, it's imperative that they have to define themselves in multiple different ways, because if they don't, then they will feel like they are not productive, that they are not providers, that they are not the people, the person that they were before. So again, do not define yourself just on one thing. You are a complete person, and that's what you need to do. So that way you can stay balanced. So that way you have mind-body balance, right? And so this was going to be a quick video, but I get so excited about it that I went a little bit longer than I did, but it's because I want to make sure that you don't get into a mind trap where you can't move forward on your objectives or your goals, on your progress, because the way that you're defining yourself is only one way. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. Hit the like button to let me know that you like this video. Don't define yourself by just one thing. If you have any videos that you want or any topics that you want me to go over or give you my opinion on, put it in the comment section. Connect with me on Instagram at Back on Basics or on Facebook at Carlos Flores Jr. Till next time, think about the many different ways that make you who you are and put them all together. You are a multifaceted person, and that's the reason why you are who you are. Respect yourself, right? Appreciate yourself. Make sure that others know all the definitions of yourself, because that makes you who you are, and that makes you the great person you are. Till next time, Back on Basics.